Let's see if I can
Oh no, no, it happened again! What's up everybody, Jared here with yet again another kind of throwback movie review. So a couple days ago I checked out the first How to Train Your Dragon. I had never seen any of these movies in this franchise, and with the anticipation of the third one coming out this weekend, I thought I'd check out the first and second one. I watched the second one last night, so now do I understand why this franchise is so beloved? Let's find out. Now, before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys think of How to Train Your Dragon 2 in the comments down below. Is this even more fun and dragon-packed than the first, or is this definitely a watered-down sequel? Now let's get into some of the good. Now, watching this sequel, I was very much skeptical because, you know, the first one, the story, everything about it, it had so much charm, it had so much wonder, and I was curious on where they were going to go with this sequel. And in this sequel, they very much kind of like aged up the content, you know, obviously coming out 4 years after the first one. The demographic that they were going for has definitely aged up as well. So there's funnier parts in this one, there's some darker material, and overall this is a solid sequel to the original. It's tough not to compare this to the first one, but there's a lot more creativity here. There's a lot more dragon designs that I'll get into later. But, you know, I really like what they did with the story. It's very much more expansive. There's a lot of great things that they did with this without treading into familiar territory. The overall animation was another thing that I really appreciated here in this movie. Obviously, taking place 4 years, actually in real time, 4 years after the first one, there's going to be technological advancements in the animation style, and you can very much see that present in this movie. There's a lot more detail on the characters, there's a lot more color, it's very much more vibrant. Because in the original, the color palette was very much muted, it was darker colors. Some of the dragons had, you know, some bright colors, some uniqueness to them, but this one definitely steps it up a notch with vibrant jungle environments, all of the different dragons, and just all of this kind of updated animation makes for a very engaging watch. And all of the added material and lore in this was just so much fun, like the dragons, all of the vibrant designs, the cool attributes, all of the different stuff with these dragons. You can obviously tell I was a big fan of the dragons. But also Hiccup with the updated kind of like wingsuit that he has, and this like fire sword that is very much like a primitive Viking style lightsaber. Like once he whipped that thing out, I was like, whoa. When I said whip it out, I meant the fire sword. But also the giant alpha dragon that shoots ice instead of fire. I mean, we had seen a little bit of that in the first one with a dragon shooting toxic gas, so I was curious to see if these dragons had different powers, and this alpha one bringing basically a dynamic to fire, it was a nice added addition. Even though I thoroughly enjoyed this follow-up to the original How to Train Your Dragon, I did find some aspects of this movie to not really stand up or kind of fell short compared to the first one. One of which was certain aspects of the story. Obviously in the first one, Hiccup and his father, you know, they're feuding, they're butting heads. It's present again. It's a different thing that they're kind of worrying or feuding over. And, you know, if they would have just kind of gotten together, it would have been resolved right there. And then later on, when Hiccup finds his mother, she's kind of on the father's side, so it's again them butting heads. I very much like the added mother angle and her having been this dragon trainer over the last 20 years. It was really cool to kind of get a backstory of where she had gone. But the thing is, certain aspects of that didn't really make sense. She had been gone for 20 years. Like, she couldn't have just jumped on a dragon and flown back and be like, hey husband, hey son, I'm a dragon rider now, you want to be a family again? I guess I didn't fully buy into that part of the story. And again, certain aspects of the story were very much predictable. You know, the family angle, getting reunited there, this over-the-top villain that's going to get these dragons and go into this epic final battle and then obviously lose in the end of it. But I thought towards the later third of the movie, the pacing was a little bit off. I mean, we get into this epic fight, all of these dragons going against each other, all of these other dudes, these two basically Godzilla style alpha dragons going head to head. But the thing is, I checked the runtime and I'm like, man, there is 20 minutes left here. How is this going to wrap up? But then we end up at Berk, and that's where the final showdown is, and it did feel a little anticlimactic compared to the first battle. I mean, it's just a small thing, but I thought that it was, like, again, a very lackluster ending. Overall, How to Train Your Dragon is a fantastic follow-up to the original, but does fall a bit short. With it being a more mature story, building on the lore, vibrant colors, fantastic animation, and some cool action set pieces, but with some parts of the story not landing for me and some pacing issues. If you haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, definitely go check this out. Now that I've seen these first two, it's a strong franchise, I know why it's beloved, and I cannot wait to see the third. In closing, I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon 2 4.2 out of 5 big-ass dragons. So what do you guys think of How to Train Your Dragon 2? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, as always, follow all of my social media stuff down there. There's more videos over there. Like those, watch those. Seriously, just click over. You won't be disappointed. And if you haven't already, subscribe down to my channel over there. Until next time, I'll see you later. Oh, it happened again!